Welcome, everyone, to another interview on resilience. Thank you so much for joining us today. I am so excited about this interview, and I'm going to let her explain what her name is and for our listeners, how we know each other.
Well, I am Emmy Husfloenn, formerly Emmy Henricks, or nicknamed But. Anyway, so how I know Tasha is from junior high, and we go back as just friends, as being the tall kids in class and kind of goofballs, but just kind of floaters in high school, not in just one group, but friends with everybody. And that's how we kind of met each other and became best friends and went on vacation together even, and just had some crazy wild times and some, all the situations that teens go through. So yeah. Yep.
Awesome. Well, yeah, and it's pretty cool how, life we kind of separated for a while and life brought us back together. Yep. And now we do a lot together and have similar missions in life and just are great friends. Our husbands love each other and have so much fun together. And so it's pretty cool how that works. So Emmy, right. Why are you passionate about mental health awareness and suicide prevention?
In 2014, I had a son die by suicide, which was a ugly crier. We didn't know that he had mental health issues, but going through some of the, just looking back on kind of like just some signs and seeing that maybe we could have helped or asked questions that we didn't ask before. So now I have a youth group that for kids that are affected by suicide, and kind of, your same work, but just smaller scale. And COVID kind of wrecked that, but trying to get some online stuff going and just bringing the word out that it's okay to speak up about it, and just talk to your peers and your parents and anybody you can to get the word out. So.
Thank you for sharing that. I mean, yeah. It's
a crier.
So am I. And every time I talk about this or talk with you about it, you just can't help but feel those raw emotions because it's just still so real. But it also fuels the passion. Logan's the reason that put us into the schools. I mean, I would have never thought that something like this, but we just saw that Logan wasn't alone, and we saw that so many kids are struggling, and that we wanted to be a part of the solution. And watching what you and your family went through, we did not want another family to go through this. And so we've really done this, together, and seeing, hoping that we can impact lives and help people ask for help and know that it's okay to ask for help. So a word that I've been really passionate about in these last couple of years, this last year in particular, because of COVID, is the word resilience. And I truly believe that it's a skill, a tool that we need as human beings to get through these difficult times. How would you describe resilience in one or two words?
Turning things around.
Yeah, that's awesome. Any other thoughts on that, or any other words that you would use?
Let's see. I would say positivity.
Mm-hmm.
Just, being positive about, or turning anything that could be negative into a growth opportunity rather than just the negative that it is.
I love it. That's awesome. And that is, I mean, resilience is, there's so many facets to resilience and so many things, but really ultimately it's just holding on and figuring out how to get through, how to make it
Right.
through. So what you said was beautiful, and I really hope someone today that's listening can learn from that and can use that in their own lives. So thank you.
Yeah.
What type of skills would you recommend for someone looking to build their level of resilience?
Knowing what you can change and what you cannot change and how you can deal with that in just a positive manner is it's huge. I couldn't change the fact that my son died, but then I could, change the fact that I can reach out to others that might need that help. So, like the kids that come to my youth group, they are in the same situation as me. They've lost either a loved one or a sibling or parent, or friend to suicide, and or they've had suicidal ideations themselves, and where we can feel comfortable about talking about how, yes, at one time I was down and out and wasn't in a good way, but now I know that there's always a new day to come, and there's always change, and knowing not to dwell in that negative feeling, because there will be change and there is another tomorrow. So
Right. That's awesome. I loved how you said knowing what you can and can't change. And I think that's so important, because sometimes in this light, especially with what's going on in our world, there's so much that we can't do anything about. And that has been something for me that's been, can be so frustrating, because as human beings, we want to fix the situation. We want to do what we can to, to be resilient, to get through it. And when we can't do anything,
yeah.
it's so hard. But there again, yeah, but then in that, what can you do? And that is
Right.
what is so important, because even though you can't change COVID-19, we can't take it away, we can, like you said, look at it as a way to grow, and a way to, how can we see the good? And I think all of us can admit and can see that there has been some good through what we've been through, whether that's spending more time with loved ones, whether that's reprioritizing things, and really taking a step back and being like, this really doesn't matter in the long run. This is what matters. So I think that's something that we all can do. So that's so awesome. And what resources do you recommend to people that really to help with the current crisis that we're in with COVID-19, and really the mental health crisis that we were looking at before COVID, but now it's only been, just so much more.
Right. I know that Out of the Darkness and AFSP, which is American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, they do have some online tips for people that are dealing with just sadness and depression through these times, about not being able to, to be with people or talk with people on a face-to-face level. And you can always call the suicide hotline, and
Which is, can you give the suicide hotline? Do you have that?
Yep. 1-800-273-TALK 8255.
Perfect.
So
we'll put it down in the comments too. But
okay. And then there's a text that you can also text. I don't have that's written down on my you probably have that as well.
That's okay. Yeah, we'll include it in the comments. We'll include it below, because it is really important. And texting is a great way. Calling are great ways to reach out and just tell someone, I'm hurting, I need help.
Right.
That's
and some people don't want to actually talk, or they can't talk through their emotion. And sometimes I'm like that too. Like sometimes I'm feeling, such a strong emotion that I can't speak sometimes. So, sometimes people just want to text it. And that's a new way of going about things too, that this next generation is going through. Because they don't want to have the face-to-face. They want to have the text communication and kind of hide behind that screen. But it is okay to be not okay.
Right.
So
true. And I did also want to mention that the youth group that you facilitate, that is through American AFSP, right?
Foundation. Yep. Yep, it is. AFSP had paid for my training to become a facilitator and for youth group in general. And I went to Utah for that. And that was a 3-day course that I had with some really good trainers. And it was a really good program. So
Wonderful, wonderful. I just want to clarify, sometimes youth group, people think of church, and I just wanted to clarify that it is through AFSP, and
Yep.
that and then if they want to learn more about that, where do they go to find more about that?
Right now, I just have a Facebook page, and it is a youth group for kids affected by suicide. And I post on that, like the date that the youth group will be. But right now, I'm trying to take it to a different avenue where we would be in a Zoom meeting like this. And, everybody can either choose to join with video or without video, or just audio or without audio. And it's fine. Some people don't want to be, seen crying, and that's fine, and it's not all about emotions, it's just about connecting with people and talking with people and getting through your, how you're feeling and your grief journey. So,
Yep. Thank you. Thank you. And I'll put a link to that Facebook page in down below so that people can click on that, because I think that's just a huge thing. So important, so crucial. So thank you for being a part of that, and
yeah,
doing what you can right now.
yeah,
is
right.
has to be so frustrating at times to feel that you can't
Yep.
have it. But again, it's
Right.
how we work through it. So
Yep.
so in what ways do you think resilience skills benefit people?
I think that knowing that you can't change everything, and knowing that there's always going to be a new chance at a new tomorrow, and you can create change if you choose to. I just think that being more positive and working through your situations, whether it's talking to somebody or reaching out and or writing what your feelings are down on paper, having resilience and knowing that there's another chance, it just helps you go throughout your day. You know, I don't know how to put it in better words, but just, being able to work through what you're going through. So,
Yeah. And I think that was said beautifully. Is it just because sometimes getting through a day can seem so overwhelming and so
yeah,
difficult. And it can help you, even if it's just the next 5 minutes that it helps you get
you're
through.
right.
It's
Yeah.
the struggle of the day, then
Sometimes it's that 5 minutes that really counts,
exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Wonderful. And what areas of hope are you seeing?
I'm seeing people that are reaching out, and there's a lot of youth right now that know that it's okay to talk to others and to reach out and say, hey, not doing so hot, can I talk to you? And there's a change going on with mental health and the politics, and I think that's huge. And creating funds for mental health awareness, that's the newest change that we've had within the last 5 years, was huge, going to our representatives and saying, we need this. It's the same as any other health system. We need mental health. So
Awesome. And
yeah,
kind of along the same lines, what is something that gives you hope for the future?
knowing that I can help create change or do my part, and through that I get positive feels, and I guess just seeing kids grow up and being able to talk about it now. So
Yeah, that's awesome. And what can the average person do to help others in these difficult times?
If you see something, say something. If you see somebody going through a hard time or looking like they might need somebody to talk to, don't feel afraid to go up and say, "Hey, how you doing?" Just generalized, not like, "Hey, I've noticed that you're looking sad," or like just want to chat, whatever, and don't be afraid to say something. So, yeah, like sometimes though people are just they don't want to talk, they want to shut down, but at least you are noticing and that you're able to ask, and you being able to ask makes them feel like they would be able to talk. So,
And it lets them know that people care, because I think lots of times
yeah,
that's one of the things is they, people that are struggling can feel like they're alone, that no one out there cares about them. So I think
right.
noticing is huge. And what can people do, say if they have a loved one that's struggling? What would you recommend?
Um, well, if they outright say, like, I'm going to, or if they're hurting themselves in any way, or if you notice that there's some extreme changes in their attitude, or they're um, taking risks that they normally don't take, I would, just maybe call the hotline yourself, the 1-800-273-TALK, and ask them the questions like, how do I go about helping my loved one? And they will help you talk that through or give you the questions that you need to ask your loved one. Um, you can, I mean, just being open and being able to go through your concerns with your loved one and ask them outright, are you thinking about suicide? Are you thinking about hurting yourself? And sometimes they will just outright tell you, yeah. And you being able to say that outright, okay, and yeah, it's not an easy conversation, but if you're able to say that, then they know that it's okay to talk about. And you're not opening that avenue like you're suggesting suicide at all. You're just, saying, hey, I've noticed some changes, and it scares me and I care about you. So
Yeah, awesome. And what else, like I know you do the out of the darkness walks,
yeah.
and how can people what are some of those things that people can get involved in, to
um
create and spread awareness?
yeah, on AFSP there is a list of the out of the darkness walks and community engagements. You can go on AFSP and search your state and your city, and some cities might not have one, if they're not large enough, but I mean, we're a little town of Red Wing, and we have one. So it's just looking to see where the nearest community reach would be. And um, I mean, I think we're in every state with the out of the darkness walks. So um, yeah, just kind of searching and looking online to see where that
Awesome.
organization is.
Yeah. And you and we both did the mental health first aid youth training together. What was your experience with that?
That was great. I did learn a lot, though, with humans and communicating, and just the pausing, letting people speak. That's and just listening to them. It's huge. Um, and
So would you recommend that?
I would, yeah, I would. I learned a lot. Yeah,
Great. And I'll put a link to that also, because there's free trainings all over the place. So we really
yeah,
recommend that everyone. I mean, honestly,
yeah.
how many people do
No,
CPR training? How much more
right,
in the same facet and the same need, we need to have mental health training.
right.
So I definitely
Yep.
can't say it enough. And I know that Emmy is nodding her
I
head that
feel
she
the same way.
so definitely check that out. If someone today listening is feeling hopeless, what is your advice to them? What would you say to them?
I would say that, tomorrow is a different day, and hold strong. And people care about you, whether you think that they do or not. There are tons of people that want to hear what you're going through, and just reach out, speak up. communicate with anybody that you can. If it is just the 1-800 number or the text line, get your feelings out there, write them down on paper, and please do not, try to take your life. There are other avenues. There's people that can help you, and just reach out to anyone that you can.
Thank you. Thank you. And I couldn't agree more. It's so important. So if you are listening today, please, please, please heed Emmy's advice, because she knows firsthand what it's like to go through the loss of a loved one. And we don't want anyone to have to go through that. And so please, 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 there are resources, there is help, and you can get through this, just everything that she just said. So Emmy, I just want to thank you so much for your time today. Thank you for being here, for answering my questions, and just helping to educate on resilience. This is the word that is so, so, so important right now and cannot be emphasized enough. And so please check out my website. Please check out the links that Emmy talked about below to learn more, to get educated, to help reduce stigma, and to get the help that you need. So thank you so much for joining us. Until next time, bye-bye.